am attorney Marie-Chris Bathan-Lasco. This is my virtual classroom. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel, I shall aim to simplify the law. I will discuss concepts and principles of law in under 10 minutes. Hi everyone, welcome to another video lecture for partnership. So for this video lecture, I am going to discuss Articles 1787 to 1791 and also Article 1808. Okay, so let's start off with 1788. 1788, I have actually already partially discussed 1788 in one of my videos uploaded in my channel. So please kindly take a look at that so that you will also be able to listen to the discussion there. So 1788 actually has two parts. You have the first paragraph and then the second paragraph. The first paragraph talks about the obligation of the partner to deliver the money that he promised to contribute to the partnership. Otherwise, if he fails to deliver that money that he promised to contribute, then his obligation is still to make good of that promise, plus he'll be liable for interest and damages. So let's read Article 1788, first paragraph. It says, a partner who has undertaken to contribute a sum of money and fails to do so becomes a debtor for the interest and damages from the time he should have complied with his obligation. Now, if you can still remember your obligations and contracts, we said that if there is no demand, then there is no delay. Now, is there a need for the other partners to make a demand upon this partner who promised to contribute money but failed to do so? The answer is no. There is no need for a demand. Why? Because he becomes a debtor of the partnership from the time he made that promise to deliver. And so if he failed to deliver at the time that he promised to deliver it, then there is already delay. If there is delay, legal delay at that, then he is liable for damages. In fact, this provision of law also tells you that he is liable for interest. Now, what interest rate are we going to use? The interest is the interest rate that has been agreed upon by the parties. Of course, if there is no agreement, then you follow the legal rate of interest, which is 12% legal interest per annum. Now, let's go into the second part of 1788. It says, the same rule applies to any amount he may have taken from the partnership coffers, and his liability shall begin from the time he converted the amount to his own use. In other words, this partner uses partnership money. Okay? And then it is found that he has converted the same to his own use and not for the benefit of the partnership. What are his obligations? First, he must reimburse the amount that he used, and he will also be liable for interest and damages. And when do you compute it, or when do you count the interest and the damages? It will be counted from the time that he converted it to his personal use. Again, rate of interest will be that which is agreed upon. If not, then you use the legal rate of interest. Now, what happens if the partner fails to return the amount that he used and that he converted to his own personal use? He can be made liable for estafa. Now, let's move on to Article 1789. 1789 talks about industrial partners and their obligations or obligation to the partnership. Now, remember that an industrial partner is a partner who has promised to contribute industry to the partnership, as opposed to a capitalist partner who contributes capital or money or property to the partnership. Article 1789 provides an industrial partner cannot engage in a business for himself unless the partnership expressly permits him to do so. And if he should do so, the capitalist partners may either exclude him from the firm or avail themselves of the benefits which he may have obtained in violation of this provision with a right to damages in either case. What does that provision tell you? That tells you that if you're an industrial partner, since you promise to contribute your industry, you promise to contribute service, that service is supposedly exclusive to the partnership. Why? Because you cannot divide your body. So what happens if you find out that your industrial partner is in another business? He has another business apart from the business of your partnership. There are remedies that are made available to you as a partner, to the partnership. What are the remedies? First is you can exclude him from the firm plus damages, or you can avail yourselves of the benefits that he may have derived from that other business plus damages. Why are these remedies available to you? Because in effect, when he entered into another business for himself, there was already conflict of interest. Because as I've said, if there is a promise of contribution of industry, it's supposed to be exclusive because you cannot divide yourself into two. You're supposed to devote your time to the partnership business. Of course, an exception to this is if it has been agreed upon when you created the partnership that the industrial partner is still allowed to enter into another business. But as a general rule, if there is no agreement to that effect, then the law will tell you that that rendering of service by the industrial partner is to be exclusive to the partnership business. And that is why if he will enter into a business for himself, apart from the business partnership, then there is no conflict of interest. And that is why those remedies are available to the partners. Remember that the prohibition to enter into another business is absolute. Any other business, it does not necessarily have to be the same business as that of the partnership. So if your partnership business is, let's say, retail, a retail store, and then he enters into another business like a professional partnership, that is still considered as conflict of interest under Article 1789, and the other partners can avail themselves of the remedies. Again, what are those remedies? To exclude him from the partnership plus damages, or to avail yourselves of the benefit that he has enjoyed in that other business or other partnership plus damages. How about if you are a capitalist partner? Are you also prohibited from entering into another business apart from the business that your partnership is engaged in, just like your industrial partner? The answer is no. The answer is in Article 1808. 1808 will tell you that your capitalist partner, as he is to contribute money or property to the common fund, to the partnership, there is only relative prohibition. And what do we mean by relative prohibition? Meaning that he is not to enter into a business that is in the same line of business as the partnership. That is now considered as conflict of interest. But for example, the partnership is engaged in supplying rice, and then this capitalist partner now enters into another business, that of putting up a coffee shop. That is not in the same line of business, so he is allowed to do so. Unlike in an industrial partner, it would not matter if it's in the same line of business or not. because the prohibition is absolute, such that if he violates the prohibition, then those two remedies that I have mentioned, that would be available to the other partners. But for a capitalist partner, as a general rule, he is allowed to engage in another business so long as it is not in the same line of business as that of the partnership, so long as it does not compete with the partnership, because what he contributes or contributed is money or property, unlike an industrial partner where he is supposed to render exclusive service to the partnership. Of course, if the partners agree, or agreed rather, that even capitalist partners cannot engage in any other business, even if not related to the partnership business, then they will have to abide by that agreement. Because as what you have learned already in obligations and contracts, that contracts rather have the force of law between the contracting parties. So if they agree on that, then they will have to abide by that. But if there is no stipulation with respect to that, then you follow the law. And the law says that the capitalist partner can actually engage in another business. What is prohibited is for the capitalist partner to engage in the same line of business that would compete with the partnership. And the reason behind that is that he may obtain trade secrets in the partnership, and it would be prejudicial to the partnership if he will share those secrets or use that information that he knows in that other business that he has, that is in the same line of business as that of the partnership. So, what would now be the remedy of the partners if they find out that a capitalist partner is engaged in a business that is competing with the partnership business or in the same line of the partnership business? That is Article 1808. And it says, any capitalist partner violating this prohibition shall bring to the common funds any profits accruing to him from his transactions and shall personally bear all the losses. In other words, if he had he made a profit in that other business, he should put it to the partnership, to the common fund. It now becomes a partnership profit. But what if instead of gaining in that business, he has losses? That is not considered as losses of the partnership. He will personally bear the losses. So, again, just a quick recap. If you are an industrial partner, the prohibition to engage in another business is absolute. It does not matter what business that you will engage in. It does not matter if it's not in the same line of business. You are prohibited from doing so unless, of course, the partners agree that you are allowed to. While if you are a capitalist partner, the general rule is that you are allowed to engage in another business so long rather as it is not in the same line of business as that of the partnership business. But of course, again, if they agree that even if it is not in the same line of business, you are not allowed to engage in that business, then of course you will have to abide by your agreement. Now let's move on to Article 1790. It says, unless there is a stipulation to the contrary, the partners shall contribute equal shares to the capital of the partnership. So this provision gives you the presumption. Okay? In other words, if the partners have not made an agreement as to how much will be contributed by partner A, by partner B, or by partner C, then the presumption is they will contribute equally. Why is the presumption equal shares? Because it is presumed that the partners have equal rights and liabilities. Of course, as I said, the partners can actually agree not to have equal sharing. They could agree that partner A will contribute 50% of the capital, and then partner B only 25%, and C only 25%. So they can agree on whatever sharing. This Article 1790 will only come in if there is no such agreement as to how much is to be contributed. Now, what is Article 1791? 1791 talks about the obligation of the partners to contribute additional capital. Now, when can the partners compel each other to contribute additional capital? Article 1791 says that the only time that you can compel the other partners to contribute additional capital is when there is imminent loss and you want to save the business. So let's read 1791. It says, if there is no agreement to the contrary, in case of an imminent loss of the business of the partnership, any partner who refuses to contribute an additional share to the capital, except an industrial partner to save the venture, shall be obliged to sell his interest to the other partners. So 1791 tells you that there is an obligation to contribute additional capital, but only when they have not agreed that they will not contribute additional capital, even if it means that there is imminent loss. So if there is no such agreement, then 1791 will come in. So there must be imminent loss, and then majority of the partners think that and believe that additional capital is necessary to save the venture. Okay? Now, remember also that this obligation to share additional capital in the case of imminent loss will only devolve upon or will only apply rather to capitalist partners and not to an industrial partner. Why not? Why can you not compel the industrial partner to contribute additional capital? Because the capital that he has contributed is industry and he cannot get it back. He has already labored in vain. So it would be not reasonable for you to ask the industrial partner rather to contribute anew because he has already lost. He has already labored in vain. So this will only apply to capitalist partners. Now, what if such capitalist partner or partners will refuse? Supposing a capitalist partner will refuse, despite the fact that they have not agreed in the partnership, in the creation of the partnership, that they will not contribute additional capital even if there is loss. There's no agreement as to that. And also, it is clear that there is imminent loss and that additional capital is needed to save the venture. And he refuses. And his refusal is unreasonable refusal. It's not because he is financially unable to do so. He just does not want to. What is the consequence? The consequence now is, and the remedy of the other partners who would want to save the venture, is to compel that refusing capitalist partner to sell his interest to the partnership. He must sell his interest to the partners who want to save the venture. Why can you compel him to sell his interest? Because clearly he does not want to save the partnership. Because clearly he's no longer interested in continuing with the partnership. So it is but right for the other partners who would want to save the venture should be able to do so. And there is an unwilling partner, and so 1791 gives a remedy to those other partners who would want to save the business. And that is to compel that refusing capitalist partner to sell his interest to the other remaining partners. So that is it for our video lecture for Article 1788 to 1791 and also your 1808. So if you find this video helpful, please click like, subscribe, and that notification bell so that you will be notified of new video uploads. Thank you for watching. See you next time in MBL Classroom.